Other than the usual major-minor tonalities, composers also use a variety of alternative scales and systems, all of which have very interesting sounds and distinct characters. In this video, we'll take a look at the modes. The 7 modes are Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and Locrian. What are these weird names? Okay, let's start simple. The major scale. The major scale is the mother of all scales. It is indirectly derived from the physics of the overtone series and results in the following familiar sound. If we look at C major, or the white keys of the piano, we get, which is the C major or C Ionian scale, the first mode. What is important to note is this fundamental pattern of whole steps and half steps. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. This is the formula to get a major scale regardless of which pitch you start on. So by playing this group of notes in this order, we get the C major scale, also called C Ionian. However, if we play these same exact notes, the white notes of the piano, but from A to A, we get the A natural minor scale, or A Aeolian scale. An obviously different scale, with different fundamental pattern and feel, but a mode of the major scale, the 6th mode, A being the 6th note of the C major scale, resulting in this mode. So the idea behind modes is that this little game can be done by starting from all the 7 pitches of the major scale. If we start on D, we get, which is the D Dorian scale. If we start on E, we get, which is the E Phrygian scale, and so on. F Lydian, G Mixolydian, A we've already done, and finally B, the horrible B Locrian scale. Okay, that's cute, but how do they sound? Why did you change the order? Well, a simple way to understand the sound of these scales is by ranking them by major-minor affiliation and relative brightness and darkness. Huh? Okay, hold on. Let's transpose all of these scales to C, so that C is the first note of the scale and each specific fundamental pattern applied, so that we can compare differences. Ah, that looks better. The first thing we can do is to separate the major and minor modes. How do we know? We look at the third. The first 3 are major and the bottom 4 are minor. Now it becomes simpler to detect the differences between these scales. In fact, the Lydian mode is basically the same as the Ionian or major scale, but with this sharpened 4th degree, which gives it this bright feel. We can call it bright major. In reverse, the Mixolydian scale is also the same as the Ionian or major scale, but with a flattened 7th degree, giving it its darker character. We'll call it dark major, my personal favorite. If we look at minor world, Dorian is basically an Aeolian or minor scale with a raised 6th degree, which makes it brighter than the minor scale. And Phrygian is a minor scale with this flattened 2nd degree, which makes it darker than the minor scale. Locrian is still technically in the minor family, but it's very unstable as it's built on the infamous tritone interval, so we'll call it dark witchcraft. Quick recap. Modes are scales derived from the major scale and have a specific character. Bright major, major, dark major, bright minor, minor, dark minor, and objectively hideous. Now what can we do with these scales? These scales have 2 major uses. Modes are AKA for chord scale theory for jazz improvisation. The idea is that chords imply a specific mode to improvise a melody over its given harmonic backdrop. For instance, in this 2-5-1 chord progression in C major, each chord implies the use of a different scale to improvise the melody. Although these 3 scales all pull from the same mother scale, the white notes of the piano in this example, each of these different modes imply a different hierarchy of note importance. For example, C is the most important note in C major 7, but it's not nearly as consonant over the other 2 chords. Modes help us prioritize which notes to use and when. This is the exciting one. Modes can be used as the basis for writing purely modal music. This practice of creating music out of these scales to bring out their unique mood and character is found in music from the Middle Ages, modern jazz, pop music, and film scoring. Here are some examples. To summarize, these are awesome scales derived from an awesome scale to create a wider palette of musical colors which ultimately apply the same mechanics of the circle of fifths and the elegant laws of the musical universe, a universe made of darkness and brightness. As always, thanks for watching. I've recently opened an Instagram account for this channel, so please consider following us for exclusive behind-the-scenes content and images. Link in the description.